the 2026 Ford Mustang Eleanor. This isn't just another car review, it's a journey through power, design, and emotion. The Eleanor name is legendary, rooted in history and Hollywood fame, and now it's been reimagined for a new generation. So buckle up, because we're going to explore every detail, from the aggressive exterior to the refined interior, from the growl of the engine to the final verdict on price and value. Right from the moment you lay eyes on the 2026 Ford Mustang Eleanor, you know it's something special. The car commands attention like few others on the road. Ford's design team has clearly worked to blend the soul of the classic Eleanor with the sharp precision of modern engineering. The front fascia carries a sense of heritage, wide, muscular, and purposeful. The signature grille sits low and menacing, framed by razor-thin LED headlights that give it a fierce expression. The hood features deep sculpted lines and functional vents that aren't just for show, they help with cooling that powerful engine underneath. The stance of the car is aggressive, wider than before, hugging the road with a dominant posture. From the side, you notice the long hood and the fastback roofline that defines the Mustang DNA. The proportions scream performance. It's low, sleek, and powerful. The wheel arches are muscular, filled with 20-inch alloys wrapped in high-performance rubber. The character lines along the doors flow smoothly toward the rear, creating an illusion of motion even when the car is standing still. Around back, you get that signature tri-bar taillight design, but this time more modern and sculpted with sequential LED lighting. Quad exhaust tips peek out from the rear diffuser, ready to unleash that thunderous V8 soundtrack. A subtle rear spoiler gives the right balance between elegance and aggression, staying true to the Eleanor legacy. Every angle of the 2026 Eleanor feels like a piece of art, sculpted by both nostalgia and technology. Even the small details, the Eleanor badging, the matte or gloss black stripes, the brushed aluminum accents, all contribute to a sense of craftsmanship. It's not just a car you drive, it's one you admire even when parked. The design is both modern and timeless, and that's not an easy balance to achieve. Now step inside, and the blend of classic inspiration and futuristic design continues. The cabin of the 2026 Ford Mustang Eleanor feels like a cockpit, immersive, driver-focused, and refined. You're greeted with a mix of high-quality materials, leather, aluminum, and carbon fiber. The steering wheel is thick and grippy, with Eleanor stitching that reminds you this is no ordinary Mustang. Behind it sits a fully digital 12.4-inch instrument cluster, which can be customized to show performance data, navigation, or a classic analog look for purists. At the center, there's a large 13.2-inch infotainment screen, slightly tilted toward the driver for easy access. The interface is quick, intuitive, and supports wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, voice commands, and over-the-air updates. You can control everything from performance modes to ambient lighting through this screen. The ambient lighting is another subtle touch, soft. Customizable hues that create a perfect mood whether you're cruising at night or tearing down a track. The seats are pure performance art, bolstered, comfortable, and finished in premium leather with contrast stitching. The Eleanor edition may feature exclusive patterns or embossed logos. The front seats can be heated and ventilated, while the driver's seat memory function adds convenience. In higher trims, Ford's partnership with Recaro continues, meaning you get that perfect blend of comfort and lateral support for spirited driving. The sound system is also worth mentioning, a premium 12-speaker B&O setup that delivers studio-quality clarity when you're not listening to the roar of that engine. Even though the Mustang remains a two-door coupe, Ford has ensured decent practicality. The rear seats aren't huge, but they're usable for short trips or extra luggage space when folded down. The trunk space is surprisingly good for a sports car, capable of holding a couple of bags for a weekend getaway. Overall, the interior of the 2026 Eleanor is where luxury meets muscle. It's not just about speed, it's about the experience of being inside a car that feels both powerful and personal. And speaking of power, let's talk performance, the heart and soul of the 2026 Ford Mustang Eleanor. Under that sculpted hood lies a 5.2-liter supercharged V8 engine, reportedly delivering a jaw-dropping 750 horsepower and around 660 pound-feet of torque. That's a number that pushes it firmly into supercar territory, and yet it remains a true front-engine, rear-wheel drive muscle car at heart. Ford's engineers have fine-tuned the power delivery to be both brutal and controllable. Hit the throttle and the Eleanor roars to life, propelling you from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just about 3.4 seconds. That's faster than many high-end European sports. Car's transmission options include a 6-speed manual for purists who want that hands-on connection, and a 10-speed automatic for those who prefer lightning fast shifts and daily driving convenience. The car also features multiple drive modes: normal, sport, track, drag, and even custom, allowing you to tailor the throttle response, steering weight, suspension stiffness, and exhaust sound to match your mood. Speaking of sound, the exhaust note is something to experience in person. Deep, throaty, and unapologetically American. It crackles on downshifts, roars on acceleration, and lets everyone around know it's an Eleanor. The adaptive suspension system, likely a version of Ford's Magnaride, helps balance comfort and control. In daily driving, it smooths out rough roads, but switch to sport or track mode, and it tightens up instantly, giving sharp feedback through every turn. The steering feels direct and responsive, and the improved chassis stiffness gives the car confidence through corners. Wide tires and Brembo brakes ensure that all that power can be managed safely, bringing you to a stop just as fiercely as it accelerates. Performance isn't just about raw numbers. It's about how it feels. The 2026 Eleanor feels alive. Every input, throttle, steering, brakes, gets a precise reaction. It's the kind of car that makes you want to take the long way home just to feel it again. Whether you're cruising down the highway or attacking a back road, this Mustang feels planted, engaging, and emotionally charged. Ford's engineers have worked to make it both thrilling and approachable, so even drivers who aren't track veterans can enjoy it. Now, all this performance, luxury, and design come at a price. The 2026 Ford Mustang lineup starts around $32,000 for the EcoBoost models and climbs to around $60,000 for the GT trims. The Dark Horse Edition pushes closer to $70,000, but the Eleanor is in another league. Considering its bespoke design, high-output V8, and exclusivity, estimates place the price well above $100,000, possibly around $120,000 depending on options and markets. That puts it in competition with cars like the Chevrolet Corvette, Porsche 911, and even some lower-end McLarens. But where those cars lean toward refined precision, the Eleanor sells raw emotion and history. It's about presence, not just numbers. So, is it worth it? For enthusiasts who understand what Eleanor represents, a blend of history, performance, and individuality, absolutely. It's not just a car you buy. It's an experience you own. It stands for something bigger than horsepower or price tags. It stands for rebellion, freedom, and passion. The 2026 Ford Mustang Eleanor is the perfect example of how a classic icon can be reborn without losing its soul. In a world moving toward electric silence, Eleanor roars louder than ever, reminding everyone why we fell in love with cars in the first place. The look, the feel, the sound, it all comes together in one unforgettable package. Whether you're admiring it on the street, flooring it on a track, or simply sitting behind the wheel listening to the engine idle, this car makes you feel something real. That's the magic of Eleanor. It's not just a Mustang, it's a statement. And in 2026, Ford has proven that legends don't fade, they evolve. Thanks for watching MVP Road Car. If you loved this deep dive into the 2026 Ford Mustang Eleanor, hit that like button, subscribe for more in-depth car reviews, and let me know in the comments what you think about this modern muscle masterpiece. Until next time, drive safe and keep chasing the road. 2026 Volkswagen Karmann Ghia. This isn't just a car revival. It's a statement from Volkswagen that heritage and technology can coexist beautifully. So buckle up, because we're taking a detailed ride through its design, interior, performance, and what it'll cost you to park one of these in your garage. The first thing you notice about the new Karmann Ghia is that unmistakable silhouette. Volkswagen has managed to capture the essence of the classic coupe from the 1950s and 60s, but they've reimagined it for the modern era. The proportions are elegant, with a long, sculpted hood, sleek LED headlights that curve gracefully into the fenders, and a compact, sweeping roofline that gives it that retro fastback feel. The front fascia is clean and aerodynamic. No massive grille like you see on traditional gas cars, because this one is built around electrification. There's a subtle venting system hidden low in the bumper, and a beautifully integrated VW badge that lights up softly at night. From the side, it's pure class. The designers have given it bold character lines that flow from the front arches all the way to the rear, hinting at motion even when it's standing still. Flush door handles pop out when you approach, and the frameless windows give it a premium coupe aesthetic. The wheel designs are a mix of retro and futuristic. Multi-spoke alloys inspired by the original Ghia, but sized up to modern standards, sitting on low-profile tires that fill the arches perfectly. The stance is wide, low, and confident, giving it a real sports car presence without losing its sophisticated charm. At the back, Volkswagen has gone for elegance over aggression. There's a full-width LED taillight bar that echoes the thin, delicate lines of the old model's chrome strip, but done with cutting-edge precision lighting. The rear glass blends almost seamlessly into the bodywork, and there's a subtle integrated spoiler lip that keeps it aerodynamic but stylish. The lower diffuser hints at performance without going overboard, and of course, the absence of exhaust pipes tells you exactly what kind of powertrain is hiding underneath. Paint options are another highlight. Volkswagen knows the Ghia's personality lies in color, so you get some timeless choices: a creamy pearl white, a deep metallic blue, a fiery coral red reminiscent of the vintage tones, and even a matte graphite for those who want something modern and understated. Every curve of the car seems to catch the light differently, showing off the craftsmanship that's gone into bringing this design back to life. Now, stepping inside, the story continues. The 2026 Karmann Ghia's cabin is a masterclass in blending retro cues with futuristic luxury. As soon as you open the door, you're greeted by an interior that feels inviting and driver-focused. The dashboard is clean and minimalist, with smooth horizontal lines that make the cabin feel wider. Volkswagen hasn't tried to copy the old car's simplicity. Instead, they've modernized it with elegance. The digital instrument cluster behind the steering wheel has a circular theme inspired by classic analog dials, but rendered in crisp HD graphics. You can customize it to show navigation, energy flow, or performance data depending on your mood. The center console is dominated by a large infotainment screen that seamlessly integrates into the dash. It runs Volkswagen's latest software, quick, intuitive, and packed with connectivity options. You get wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, built-in voice control, and even over-the-air updates to keep the system fresh. Below that, there are tactile climate control sliders, and everything feels solid and well-built. Typical Volkswagen precision. The seats are a work of art, sculpted, sporty, yet comfortable. They're available in leather or sustainable eco-materials depending on your preference, and you can choose contrasting stitching that nods to the Ghia's heritage. The driving position is low and engaging, the steering wheel is compact with flat-bottom styling, and the visibility is surprisingly good for a coupe. The rear seats are small but usable for short trips or extra luggage space, and there's a decent-sized trunk, making it practical enough for weekend getaways. Ambient lighting runs subtly through the cabin, creating a cozy atmosphere at night, and the sound insulation is top-notch. Even at highway speeds, the cabin stays whisper quiet, letting you appreciate the premium audio system, which Volkswagen developed in partnership with Harman Kardon. It's immersive, clear, and perfectly tuned for the acoustics of this compact coupe. Now let's talk performance, because that's where things get exciting. The 2026 Karmann Ghia sits on Volkswagen's latest EV platform, the same modular system that underpins their electric lineup. In the base trim, you get a single-motor rear-wheel drive setup that produces around 240 horsepower, offering smooth, instant torque and brisk acceleration. But step up to the dual-motor all-wheel drive model, and you're looking at nearly 400 horsepower with a 0 to 60 mph time of around 4.2 seconds. That's serious performance territory. The handling is tight and balanced, thanks to a low center of gravity from the underfloor battery pack. The weight distribution feels almost perfect, giving you confidence in corners. The steering is precise and responsive, with just the right amount of feedback to keep you connected to the road. Adaptive dampers adjust automatically to your driving style, softening up for comfort on highways and stiffening for sharper response when you're carving through bends. It feels planted, agile, and distinctly European in its tuning. A true driver's car with a refined edge. Range-wise, Volkswagen claims around 340 miles on a full charge for the long-range model, which is competitive in today's EV market. Fast charging can take you from 10 to 80% in about 25 minutes using a high-speed DC charger. For daily use, home charging overnight will easily cover your needs. Regenerative braking adds energy back to the battery, and you can adjust its strength through the drive modes, letting you drive almost one-pedal style in urban settings. The overall driving experience is a balance of silence, speed, and sophistication. It's not a loud, brash sports car. It's more of a grand tourer that rewards smoothness and precision. You can cruise effortlessly, but when you want to have fun, it's ready to dance. Volkswagen has tuned the suspension beautifully. Bumps and imperfections barely disturb the cabin, yet body control remains firm and predictable. Now, of course, let's talk about the price. The 2026 Volkswagen Karmann Ghia is positioned as a premium electric coupe, not an entry-level EV. The expected starting price is around $44,000 for the base single-motor version, with the dual-motor performance trim climbing closer to $52,000 or more, depending on options. Add in special paints, upgraded wheels, or interior packages, and you could easily spec it up into the high 50s. But for what you're getting, the design heritage, the craftsmanship, the electric performance, and the exclusivity, it feels justified. Volkswagen isn't aiming to make the Karmann Ghia a mass-market model. It's more of a passion project for those who appreciate style and driving pleasure. It's a car that looks back just enough to remind us of its soul while charging forward into a sustainable future. It's sophisticated, emotional, and crafted with real attention to detail. So there you have it. The 2026 Volkswagen Karmann Ghia, a stunning fusion of the past and the future. From its elegant curves to its high-tech cabin and exhilarating electric performance, it's proof that nostalgia doesn't have to mean old-fashioned. It's a car that turns heads, makes hearts race, and reminds us that driving can still be an experience, not just a commute. If you enjoyed this detailed look, make sure to hit that like button. Drop a comment about what you think of Volkswagen's bold move. And don't forget to subscribe to MVP Road Car for more in-depth reviews of the most exciting vehicles shaping our roads and our future. Thanks for watching. And as always, drive safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back to MVP Road Car. Today we're taking a deep, detailed look at one of the most talked about revivals in the car world, the 2026 Plymouth Roadrunner. This isn't just a comeback. It's a rebirth of a legend that defined American muscle for generations. Plymouth is stepping back into the spotlight, and the new Roadrunner is their bold statement that muscle cars are far from dead. So sit back, relax, and let's go over every detail, from the exterior and interior to performance and price, to see if this bird can really fly again. When you first see the 2026 Plymouth Roadrunner in person, it's impossible not to stare. The design takes everything iconic about the old muscle era and reinterprets it for the modern day. The front end is wide and menacing, sitting low to the ground with a stance that screams aggression even when it's parked. The hood features 2 functional air scoops, channeling cool air directly to the engine bay. The LED headlights are shaped in a classic circular style, but with a futuristic ring pattern that gives off a distinct personality at night. The grille has that old-school Plymouth mesh design, but it's framed by a gloss black border that makes it pop. The front fascia is clean, muscular, and purposeful. No fake vents or exaggerated shapes, just pure performance aesthetics. From the side, the proportions hit that sweet spot between muscle and modern Grand Tourer. The car sits long and low with a prominent shoulder line that runs the length of the body, emphasizing its stance. The roofline slopes gently into the rear, giving it an aerodynamic silhouette while maintaining that unmistakable 2-door muscle car shape. The flush door handles, blacked-out mirrors, and sculpted side skirts give it a contemporary edge, while the flared wheel arches house massive 20 or 21-inch alloy wheels wrapped in performance rubber. The stance is wide, confident, and ready to pounce. As you walk around to the rear, the Roadrunner's design team clearly wanted to blend nostalgia with innovation. A single LED light bar stretches across the width of the back, glowing like a red ribbon that connects both taillights. In the center, proudly displayed, is the Plymouth nameplate, not hidden, not small, but bold and unapologetic. The rear bumper integrates a subtle diffuser, and the quad exhaust tips on performance models look ready to unleash fury at any moment. The deck lid spoiler is cleanly molded into the trunk, not an add-on, keeping the silhouette refined while still giving you downforce at higher speeds. Overall, the exterior gives the perfect mix of muscle, heritage, and modern craftsmanship. Now, when you open the door and slide into the interior, you immediately realize this isn't just a retro machine. It's a modern performance cockpit built for real drivers. The seating position is low, the view over the hood is commanding, and every control feels like it's positioned exactly where you expect it to be. The dashboard design blends analog charm with digital technology. You get a large digital driver display that can switch between classic gauge visuals and full performance telemetry. The fonts and layout even pay tribute to Plymouth's older designs, with subtle nods to the 1970s muscle car era. The center console is dominated by a massive vertical touchscreen that controls the infotainment, navigation, and climate settings. But unlike many cars that rely too much on touchscreens, the Roadrunner gives you tactile physical controls for essentials, proper knobs for volume and temperature, toggle switches for drive modes, and a dedicated performance button that instantly sharpens throttle response, stiffens the suspension, and opens up the exhaust valves. It's the kind of layout that respects both tradition and modern expectations. The materials are genuinely premium: soft leather, Alcantara, aluminum trim, and optional carbon fiber accents depending on the trim level. The seats are deeply bolstered, designed to keep you in place when cornering hard, yet still comfortable enough for long-distance cruising. The flat-bottom steering wheel feels substantial in your hands, wrapped in leather with contrast stitching and integrated paddle shifters. Even the small details have been thoughtfully done. Ambient lighting glows subtly across the door panels. The Plymouth logo illuminates on the dashboard at startup, and the digital cluster plays a short Roadrunner animation every time you press the start button. In the back, space is limited as you'd expect in a 2-door performance coupe. But the seats are usable for short trips or kids. The trunk space is surprisingly practical, enough for a weekend getaway, proving that Plymouth wanted this to be more than just a weekend toy. Now let's talk performance, the heart and soul of this machine. Under the hood, the 2026 Roadrunner packs serious muscle. The base model comes with a naturally aspirated 6.4-liter V8, producing around 485 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. But the real excitement comes from the high-performance variant, a supercharged 6.2-liter Hemi V8, delivering over 700 horsepower, making it a true beast in the modern muscle arena. Some reports suggest a potential hybrid assist setup for the top trim, which could boost power closer to 800 horsepower while improving low-end torque and efficiency. Performance is nothing short of breathtaking. The car rockets from 0 to 60 miles per hour in roughly 3.3 seconds, depending on the trim and tires, and quarter-mile times hover in the high 10s to low 11s range. Top speed is projected around 195 to 200 miles per hour. The power delivery is immediate, raw, and intoxicating. That classic V8 growl mixes with a modern exhaust note that cracks and pops in sport mode. It's a sound that makes you smile every single time. Handling is where Plymouth has really stepped up. The new Roadrunner rides on a performance-tuned adaptive suspension system that continuously adjusts damping to match driving conditions. In comfort mode, it's surprisingly compliant, soaking up bumps without losing composure. Switch to sport or track, and the car transforms. Steering sharpens, throttle response becomes razor quick, and the whole chassis feels more connected. The electronic limited slip differential and advanced traction management system make sure all that power reaches the ground without excessive drama. The result is a car that's fast, fun, and manageable, even for drivers who aren't professional racers. The brakes are equally impressive, featuring large Brembo calipers with ventilated rotors all around. The pedal feel is firm, and stopping distances are short, giving you the confidence to push hard and know the car will respond instantly. For those who love total control, a manual transmission option is rumored for certain trims. While most models will feature an 8-speed automatic that shifts smoothly in comfort mode and brutally quick in track mode. As for fuel economy, well, let's be honest, this car wasn't built for sipping fuel. The supercharged V8 will average somewhere around 14-16 miles per gallon combined, while the base V8 might see closer to 18. But that's part of the charm. If you're buying a Roadrunner, you're doing it for the thrill, not the economy. Now on to the part everyone wants to know: pricing. Plymouth has structured the Roadrunner lineup to offer something for both enthusiasts and collectors. The base 6.4-liter V8 model is expected to start around $59,995, offering strong performance and everyday usability. Step up to the supercharged 6.2-liter variant, and you're looking at around $78,000 to $85,000, depending on options. The top-tier limited edition, rumored to be called the Roadrunner Superbird, could exceed $100,000, especially if it includes the hybrid assist system and exclusive materials. Considering the power, design, and heritage you're getting, that pricing is competitive against rivals like the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, Ford Mustang Dark Horse, and Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. Plus, this car carries something none of those do: the revived Plymouth name, which brings both nostalgia and uniqueness to the table. So to sum it all up, the 2026 Plymouth Roadrunner is more than just a car. It's a statement. It combines the raw emotion of classic muscle with the sophistication of modern performance engineering. The exterior turns heads, the interior wraps you in a driver-focused world of luxury and purpose, and the powertrain reminds you that true American performance still has soul. It's a car built for people who still believe driving should be exciting, loud, and unforgettable. If you ask me, Plymouth nailed the balance between past and present. The Roadrunner isn't just a revival, it's a resurrection that proves muscle cars can still evolve without losing what makes them great. So would I buy one? Absolutely. It's powerful, emotional, and instantly iconic. Thanks for watching MVP Road Car. If you enjoyed this detailed review, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Let me know in the comments, would you go for the base model or the full-blown supercharged beast? Until next time, keep driving with passion, and I'll see you on the next road.